Greetings, geniuses. This video is going to cover another topic from the INFJ perspective, as usual. And I'm going to talk about the 99% good INFJ. And perhaps this is probably more of a video for INFJs to consider and comment. I'd love to hear your perspective on this. But of course, if you're just interested in the topic and what I'm going to be talking about, then by all means. So I started thinking about this from the point of my own personal experience, that I feel as though 99% of the time I'm using my cognitive skills, abilities, personality traits, whatever you want to call all that stuff, to be used for the good of others and for myself, of course, and for humanitarian reasons, from an altruistic sort of spirit and attitude. And I can really say that with confidence because it's true. And I think INFJs are having a tendency to operate that way most of the time. Of course, the 99% number is just a number I feel like I can put for myself, and there is no exact percentage rate, of course, that we can nail down. But it's to give some sort of number and metaphor in a way to describe how I feel like I normally operate. And then, of course, on the not so happy side of this topic is the other 1%, which I hate to use the word evil because I'm talking about myself and my own actions. But as I've said before, I try to see both sides of the equation on everything, and I want to be open and honest with all the information that I put forth here. And so, yeah, there's that 1%, hopefully a lot less than 1%, I think it is. But there's that tiny percentage where I do have the ability and I have used my skills for the wrong reasons and my own personal gain. And that is what we call sin, ladies and gentlemen. And INFJs, I've said many times, are not perfect. No personality, no person is perfect. Only God is perfect. And I've been talking recently about INFJs having the genius potential and a lot of qualities that sort of make us able to act on a genius level. But I'm not sure if anybody is all the time. I really don't think so. And that's because of that evil tendency that we all have to act selfishly and to not act in others' interests but our own. And so I wouldn't be doing a good job of talking about INFJs and our genius and other things like that if I didn't mention that there is that 1% chance, the tendency that we can have in certain situations. And why? Well, for INFJ specifically, we have a lot of skills at our disposal. And so I'm not sure if I want to give any specific examples or if any will come to mind. But if we have somebody who's maybe being like a narcissist to us, which I've had plenty of experiences of, and those kinds of people have had a tremendous impact on helping me to use my cognitive skills to protect myself, to protect others. But if we have somebody who's basically gaslighting us in some way, they're trying to make us feel like crap about ourselves, even though we're trying to do the right thing, and we get that sort of treatment day in, day out, then yes, absolutely, we are going to get pushed into a corner, or a metaphorical corner, at some point, to where we're going to use those skills to get back at them. And yeah, you can call that vengeance, you can call it getting even, or whatever, but we will use that desire for balance to sort of turn the wheels of justice back in our favor. And is it the right thing to do? Well, I guess it depends on the circumstances. And I'm not getting into specifics on purpose, because if you're thinking about your own example, you can kind of decide for yourself. You can be your own judge and jury on that one. But the point is that in the right situation, and even in the wrong one, depending on if we're being more or less selfish at the time, we can read people's emotions, thoughts to some degree, as far as motive anyway. And if we see a trend, if we see that whatever, they're going to lie to somebody about us, for example, they're going to try to set us up in some way, then we can use those skills to get ahead of the game, and we could start spreading the truth mixed with gossip, and we could sabotage them instead, or at the same time, and we can do it better than they can because they don't have the skills that we have, because usually narcissists are compensating for skills that they don't have, and so they do very small-minded and stupid things. And so it's usually not that hard for us to figure out where the weakness is in their system and what they're trying to do to us, and basically get back at them. And I have experience doing that too, because and sometimes it's just psychological warfare, because if I have somebody that's, maybe they're an extrovert and narcissist, and they like to do a lot of talking, I've been in the position where I would just sit there and stare at them, seeing right through them, right through their eyes, right into their motive, to the point where they know how serious I am, and they know I mean business, and then just giving like 1 or 2 word answers that aren't exactly threats, but they're the kind of responses that would make anyone introspect on what they're doing and what they're saying to the other person. And like I said, it's not necessarily the right thing to do, maybe, but if we're pushed into a corner, and like I said, we've been gaslit for a long time, and we've been unfairly treated, then yeah, there's that 1% of evil that INFJs will tap into, as I have done, and it's not really a pretty thing. And it's not somewhere that I've ever wanted to stay either. Usually after I would do anything like that, it's not long after that I realized, hey, snap out of it. You don't want to be this kind of evil person. You don't want to act like they do, because kind of what we're doing is we're taking on the role of the narcissist temporarily, but in a more powerful way to inflict more damage back at them. And because of the fact that we're able to kind of snap into that personality, those traits of that person, and because of the empathy that we're able to lock into, we really are sort of taking on that role temporarily. And we don't like it because that's not who we are at all. And so it really does feel like pure evil. And again, if you're an INFJ, you probably know what I'm talking about. I've had these kind of moments with the road rage feeling where you could just be driving along and you see somebody coming up behind you, like screaming towards your bumper and driving erratically, and we can spot it a mile away. It's like we can even read the emotions of a car because you see every little turn of the wheel, and it's like you can see the anger. And this isn't just for INFJs on that topic, but INFJs can totally read the body language of other vehicles on the road. And so anyway, I've had those moments where I was just doing my normal thing. I was neutral or in a good mood. And then I saw somebody come out of nowhere like that. And I could just click into that rage mode. And I haven't always handled it perfectly either. There have been times where I managed to stay patient. Maybe I just got out of their way and said, it's not worth it. Usually, most of the time, that's what I'm able to do. But there are those times where it's just like, where do you get the nerve to just endanger other people's safety and drive like that from people that are just minding their own business, trying to live their lives? You know, you're not the only one having a bad day. There's lots of people out here maybe having a much worse day than you, but you're taking it out on everybody. And all those thoughts just will start to go through your head. And then that's when the rage can be flipped on. And it's just like a switch of pure evil. And, but as you get more of those experiences, I guess, as you get wiser, you realize that it really is a choice. It's a decision whether you let that switch flip or not. And it's a choice on if you handle it with grace and not let that emotion infect you. Because that's really what it is. It's an infection. It's a possession. And however you want to look at it. But so that's where I came up with the 99% and 1% ratio. It's not an exact number, but like I said, for me personally, and that's what I always talk about, is from my own experience, nobody else's, and how all this kind of introspective thinking can help you, benefit you, is that most of the time, I'm cruising along, I'm doing fantastic. I'm feeling great about life. I'm handling challenges that come my way very well. And I don't think I could have said that about myself until the last couple of years, when all my life experiences and lessons learned finally culminated to me becoming a much better person. Maybe 5-10 years ago, it would have been more like 90-10. I don't know. Maybe less than that. But so, and that's a good point to make, is that it's not all INFJs either that are going to be 99 and 1%. As I always say, it's a maturity thing. And as you get more mature, wiser, you pay more attention to your flaws, weaknesses, and strengths, and hone all of those things, that you can raise up that number to 90, 95, 96, 99, and get it up there. Ultimately, nobody is perfect, and I don't think we're ever going to be on this earth, but we can keep on raising up that number as high into the 99th percentile as possible. So just stick with it and keep keep doing what you're doing. If you're an INFJ, you naturally introspect every day anyway. So keep finding the little things that you can do to improve. And I know I'm not the only one who's felt road rage before. So that's just one little example in our lives. Well, not little, but that's one example that if you have those moments and you feel that and you feel like it's taking you over, the first thing you got to start doing is just realize the moment that it happens. Start taking note of that. And then step 2 would be to do whatever you have to do, think whatever you have to think, to not let it just possess you and make you react negatively. To just step back, have more patience and grace, because it's only going to have a bad outcome, and we all know that. We've seen all the videos online. So anyhow, I hope this video is helpful for you in some way and entertaining. And until next time, I'll see you soon. Genius.